I've said it to my parents before. I was like, man, I wish I just would have done this thing with you that we're starting now, like a year ago. And so had I started this a year ago,
Correct.
I would have had all this whole year to be practicing and
Okay, how you doing, Lance?
good. How are you?
Good. Today is February 21st, 2026 with Lance Rabel in the second session. So this is very important, so listen carefully. Facts refer to a statement that is true and can be proven with evidence or data. I am actually showing you on the chart what happens in specific locations. These are facts, something that we can go back in history, and if I don't convince you in the last couple of sessions, you're going to have to convince yourself, and you cannot deny the fact because your eyes are not going to lie, right?
Right.
When you walk into your house, when you walk into your parents' house, or you walk into your bedroom, you're going to readily identify that this is your room. If you accidentally walk into your mom or dad's room, you're going to know that you're not in your room, right?
Right.
If you say, I want to go to my brother's room, or my father's room, or the den, or the kitchen, and you get there and it doesn't look like the kitchen, you can't argue about it. You cannot tell someone this is the kitchen when you're standing in your room. So this is what I am teaching you in the market. If it doesn't exist, you can't speak about it. If the candle has not printed, it doesn't exist. Once the candle prints and it's or the most powerful candle in the market, then you know that because it is proven if you go back in history and you understand it, the power of it. Opinion. Opinion refers to a statement or belief that is not necessarily based on evidence or factual data. I am not giving you my opinion on anything. If you say, Rich, would you take this trade in this area if you saw that? That would be my opinion.
Right.
I'm going to ask you, would you take it? Well, yeah. Well, okay, now you tell me why you would have taken that. And you have to tell me based on the facts. Not because, see, I told you so. I knew Bitcoin was the bottom here. Well, prove it. How do you know that? Well, because it went down so much. It went down 50% or 100%. Okay, well, how do you know it went down 50%? Well, I'm seeing it went down 50%. Yes, but you don't know why it went down. Well, yeah, but it can't just go up. See, those are all opinions. Those are not facts, right?
Right.
What they're doing is they're telling you a story after. And they go, well, I knew Bitcoin was going to go down. Well, prove to me that you knew that. How did you know that? And they cannot prove to you because they don't have the knowledge. You see? Right. Anybody can tell you, I knew something after the fact. Well, I knew that Florida was going to get hit by the hurricane, this year. Well, how did you know that? Well, I just knew. Well, you can't prove that. You see?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's funny.
I agree with everything you're saying.
Yes. So fact is objective and based on empirical evidence. I am showing you evidence in the market. It sucks them into a market because it shows them this big bullish candle going up to the moon. And all of a sudden they're saying, look at me. Don't you want to enter? And then all of a sudden, all these traders around the world enter because they are fear of missing out. And they want to catch this huge move. And all that candle was manipulation.
FOMO.
And they got in, fear of missing out, FOMO. They got in and they lost their account. We don't trade on FOMO. We don't trade on fear. We trade on evidence in the market. And then price will show us the evidence that we're familiar with. The opinion is subjective and based on personal beliefs or experiences. Who gives a shit about your experience? Who gives a crap about my experience? It doesn't matter. Who cares about my opinion? My opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. So if my opinion doesn't matter and your opinion doesn't matter, no one's opinion matters. Because no one is God, and God doesn't even control the algorithm. The algorithm is set up on a computer program.
Yeah.
And the reason we know it's an algorithm now, that you know now, is because, and you're understanding what that means in the market. Buyers and sellers aren't creating that. It's the algorithm that keeps printing this in different shapes and sizes to throw off the average person. It takes a genius, literally a genius to figure out. A market genius. I'm not calling myself a genius, but I have 20s of thousands and hundreds of thousands of trades in the market, which I understand the market, right? I understand patterns. I understand recognition. I understand repeating. Wait a minute. Why does this stuff repeat itself? Why does it repeat itself? I don't care why, but when you go back in history, you can see it.
Yeah.
And we don't care who.
Why? If it's doing it, it's not. I said, if you can go back in history and see it, then yeah, it's not a lie. It's
It's a fact.
Yeah. Repeated pattern recognition, like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's not the patterns that you see in books. You can't buy this information. That's why we keep it close to us and we don't disseminate it, right? We read all of the privacy and all of the risk disclosures that I have on the websites and everything else, because it is for you, right? It is for you. You paid for the course. It's for you, and it's for you to benefit from it. If you gain the skill, there are no guarantees in trading, right? There's no guarantees that you're going to walk in to work one day and someone show you the door and says, you're no longer needed here without notice. There's no guarantees that that company is going to be around. There's no guarantees because it is a contractual agreement, and it's a contractual agreement between two consenting people at the time making a business transaction. You come and work for me and I will pay you, but I have the right to get rid of you at any time. And you also have that same right to leave the job at any time based on whatever you want, however you feel. But based on the contractual agreement, it is you work, we pay you, and that's it. We're not a friend of yours. We're not an enemy of yours. It's a contractual agreement. And therefore, trading is the same. You get rewarded by good behavior. What's good behavior? Learning a skill.
Oh, shit.
If you can go outside and start a lawnmower, you can go outside and start an edger to mow your mom and dad's grass, or edge the front, water the plants, not over-watering them, not flooding them. That is a skill. How about taking care of animals and horses? I couldn't take care of a horse. I know your mom could take care of a horse and ride horses, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing that happens to me is I get kicked. I get kicked every day. I'm not walking behind a horse. Hell no.
Yeah.
Right? The horse is going to know I'm kicking the shit out of this guy. Right?
Oh, shit.
He don't know anything. I'm kicking him. Right? So that's a skill. Right? So that's a skill. Knowing how to ride a horse is a skill. It takes athletic ability. It takes, you can sense the way the horse is acting, right? But you're on it. You can feel it. You can understand what the horse is doing. And that's experience, right? But it's a skill. So trading is the same thing. If you can learn how to ride a horse, why can't you learn how to trade?
Well, it's like the market is the horse. Like you can sense and feel and understand based off of what you see.
Not what you feel. Not what you feel. Because trading, because we cannot feel or smell or taste or anything, right? It's visual.
A horse, yeah. Like if it was a horse, it would tell you it was in distress or something like that. So like the same thing with the market. If it was giving you an indicator that X was going to happen, well, then you wouldn't don't make it about you. And
correct.
You said something about it rewards good behavior. I was going to say that probably like 30 minutes ago. We were talking about something else, and I was like, you get rewarded for having good behavior. And I think it was more when we were talking about not making, like, don't put yourself into it. Don't, like, I know that, like, you don't know this. So, like, do you see this or do you not see this?
Correct.
Thing.
Correct. That's why
if you don't see it, or if you do see it, then that is telling you what to do next. Are you going to feed the horse or are you going to water the horse? You know? Correct.
That's what we do. And what I am showing you is where the weakest hand is, where the market has to commit. So if you put a horse in the feeding area, which is probably smaller than an area where they can roam around, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
Right? Stable. Yeah. But when you bring a horse in from outside and they go into this feeding area or grooming area, they know that they're going to be fed and groomed. Right? They know that. Why? Because they see it. They don't feel it. They see, okay, I'm getting taken out of this gate and I am going to a feeding area because I've walked down this path before. They know, right? So, and horses can also learn that once you open the gate, that they will probably get there on their own. And then you open the next gate and they're in the feeding area. That's learned behavior. So if an animal can learn that, why can't we as humans learn that? Right?
Right.
And it's not spoken. It's not like you're not telling them. They're not speaking to you, but they understand learned behavior. So that's what's most important about this, Lance, is the more you practice, the better you will become. The more you practice, the better you will become. How good you're going to be is going to be based on you. This is not a get-rich money scheme. It is not a get-rich, I want to become a millionaire scheme. This is, I want to hone in on my skill, and I will take base hits. I'm not going to swing for the fence. I'm going to take base hits based on my skill. Because when you start to see rewards on paper, you don't realize how powerful that is. You don't realize it because you don't have it in your pocket. You don't realize it because when you go to the store, we're using plastic, whether it be, I don't like credit cards, but whether it be a debit card, every time you swipe a debit card at a store or gas station, you don't realize how much money it takes to live, right? You don't realize what that's doing to the account balance. Now, if you had a wallet full of money and we didn't have cards back in the day, every time you did something, you were pulling something physically out of your wallet to pay for it. And once that happens, now you start to realize, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not going to buy those $200 shoes. I'm taking it out of my wallet. Wait a minute, I'm not doing that. But someone will buy a $200 pair of shoes using a card because they don't feel it. It's easy. So therefore, when it comes to trading, trading will change someone's life on how they look at things, on how they act, on how they react, right? So trading, it'll teach you patience, how we're patiently waiting for the market. It will be patience. It is such a powerful plan. So when you go and you basically compare facts to opinions, opinions cannot be tested or proven. If someone has an opinion, it cannot be tested. It cannot be proven. So your opinion over my opinion is not any stronger than my opinion over your opinion. It's nothing. It's just a matter of speech. It's just a belief, but beliefs are not facts, right? I believe it's going to rain. When the weatherman says it's a 20% chance of rain, you better wear a jacket. If they say it's 100%, you might as well wear shorts and a t-shirt, right? Because it can't predict weather. You know that, right? Like it's like, wait a minute, it's not even supposed to rain today, and all of a sudden it's, we have floods. Okay? So facts can be verified through experimentation or research. So what are we doing? You're taking the information that I'm giving you. You're taking the information that I'm giving you, and you are actually going back to see it, to view it, to study it. You are actually taking that information that I am teaching you, and you are going back verifying what I say happens over and over and over again. And the only person that can convince yourself is yourself. If you don't practice, you cannot convince yourself. If you don't practice over and over and over again, you cannot better yourself. You cannot gain that skill. What level skill you want depends on how much you practice. I can trade the market. I understand the market instantly when I see the chart. I earned that. I earned it by my skill level. So we don't compare ourselves from myself to yourself. We don't compare on how much money someone has in the bank because money is useless. I teach you how to start at zero each and every day. When you can start at zero, that means you can lose everything that you own. And if you have a skill, you can start at zero and understand you can build it back up. Right? It remains true regardless of time and place or person. It will always remain true. So the date of the first session to now, you are gaining the knowledge, and now you're going to start to see over and over and over again how this skill develops. And you are going to see yourself develop, because you're going to start to see things quicker, faster, more meaningful, and verified information over and over again. And the faster you start to see everything on the chart, the stronger your skill is becoming. And over time, no one will ever be able to take that away from you. No one. No one will ever take that away from you. It will live with you forever. Now, an opinion, it can vary from person to person and can change over time with new experiences. But the skill that I'm teaching you will never change over time, other than getting better over time. And there will not be any new experiences because the algorithm is the same. It will just print in different areas of the chart. It will print at different times. It will print on different days. It will print on different symbols in the program that I'm teaching you. It doesn't matter if it's corn, oil, wheat, horsetail, horsehair, which you can't trade, but hogs, beef, whether it's indices, futures, stocks, it doesn't matter. The algorithm prints.
Right.
That is what's unique about what I am teaching you. I am teaching you something that is going to last a lifetime. I am teaching you something that you can go back 25 years and actually see. You will actually see 25 years. I don't care what chart it is. I don't care what symbol it is there. That is how powerful the system I am teaching you, right? It is objective reality. It is objective, and it is reality. It is objective. Nobody can dispute it. You can't dispute it. I can't dispute it. If it's there, there's nothing to talk about. If it's not there, then there's nothing to even talk about either. Because I don't live in some fantasy world, right? An opinion is a subjective statement. Who cares about your opinion? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. Right? You've heard that. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. A subjective statement is an opinion. So great. You feel that it's hot outside. I feel that it's nice outside. Someone else feels that it's cold outside. It's all different opinions. And guess what? Neither of us are right and neither of us are wrong. So where do we go from here? We have to move on, right? Facts are not influenced by personal biases or emotions. Who gives a crap about our personal bias? Whenever you hear people on the internet and YouTube University and all of these fake ass gurus, what you hear is their personal bias. I have a bias. They go to the daily chart and they look at a personal bias. And then they go down to a lower time frame and they form another personal bias because they feel that both of these time frames are kind of doing the same thing, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Excuse my French. They don't know what they're talking about. So if they don't know what they're talking about, then how do they form this bias? Right?
There's rolling some dice.
Exactly. Opinions can be emotional and influenced by personal feelings or experiences. Who cares about your experience in the market? This is where a hunch, intuition, I'm a multi-million-dollar attitude. I know this, and I've seen the market do this before, and I have this feeling coming over me that the market is going to go up on Bitcoin, and now you have trillions and trillions of dollars lost in the market. People selling their houses, cars, selling everything they have, and they're supposed to be the biggest influencers and the biggest banks in the world that lost their ass on Bitcoin. Now what? Bitcoin, if they knew how to read a chart, they would have understood that Bitcoin was going down. But they don't know how to read a chart. They just have all this money in the world, and they want you to believe that they have the millions and billions of dollars because they know what they're doing. But I am proving that they don't know what they're doing because I am showing you the algorithm in the market. Do you agree with that?
No, I agree. I feel like I saw it I still see it now, even like when I look at just like charts and shit. I see all this stuff that we've talked about. I see it. And so for me, just being, I guess, self-taught or what, just the self-knowledge that I have, it's like, I don't really have too many really bad habits. And like this stuff's so new for me. So it's kind of like, I'm just taking all of this and this is just going to be like my foundation kind of.
There you go.
I look at it, and
it is a foundation for life.
I just use it like as my foundation, and if I don't really, like, I don't know if I have any, like, I probably do have some bad habits, but I don't.
But you're not going to have bad habits if you stick to the plan.
Exactly, and that's why I brought
You're not going to know anything else to do. You're not going to know
a formula or whatever. It's like,
correct.
As long as I follow the formula, you can't go wrong. If you're following the formula, then it is what it is, or it's not.
Correct.
Anything, or like exactly what I agree with all of it.
So facts are not influenced by personal bias or emotions, right? So then they can also be, opinions are influenced by personal feelings and experience. So then we go to the final is fact is universally accepted and recognized. Again, fact is accepted and recognized, and it's proven. It's objective evidence. It is something that's in front of us. If we walk outside and we see a red car, it's a red car. Now, the color of red, how deep it is, how light it is, that's irrelevant. The bottom line is, if you looked at a color chart that we did not create, whoever said it was red, it's red. But that's what we know because somebody's told us that this is red, and we look at it and it's a red vehicle. That's not going to change, right? Opinions can be influenced by personal bias or cultural values. What people talk about is the value of price. Whenever someone talks about the value of price or volume of price, it is influenced by their personal bias. Nobody understands that in the trading world that understands the algorithm. If we have manipulation on a chart and we have the candles that are manipulated on a chart, then nothing on that chart is relevant. Indicators cannot be relevant if the price and manipulation is existing in those candles. If it has a fake candle, if the candles are fake and they're biased, they're basically faked and they're manipulated, and the volume inside that candle is manipulated, then the indicators are manipulated. And if the indicators are manipulated on the chart, then you're guessing and you're gambling because you don't know how to trade objectively in the market. This is why 99% of the traders, and I think it's more, 99.999999 all the way down, and there's a handful of very few people in the market that know how to trade. I am not teaching you a strategy. I am not teaching you an edge. I am not teaching you opinions. I am not teaching you how to feel. I am teaching you how to see the market in an objective way and look at the evidence that I have pointed out to you in the market that you are going to take back, you are going to study, and you are going to practice each and every day or moment or whenever you have time. It doesn't matter. It's up to you on how good you want your skill to be. And you're not going to compare yourself to others. You're not going to compare yourself to somebody who doesn't know. You're going to compare yourself to yourself, and you're going to grow. And when you make a mistake, you're going to be able to go back in history. You're going to be able to go back in history and you're going to analyze that chart in an objective way, and you're going to see why you made that mistake objectively. That is how strong this program is. This program is so strong that you're going to be able to trade in and out of that market both ways, sideways. It doesn't matter because what I've taught you is repeatable. You have to lean in to this program. You cannot go against the program. If you go against what I taught you, you are going to lose your ass. You are going to be gambling. That is a fact. You cannot gamble your way to success. You cannot hit home runs for success. If you took baseball, for example, and you were a home run hitter, but let's say you had the last 500 at-bats. How many home runs did you actually hit? You had 500 at-bats. So do you want to go up to bat and try to hit a home run? Or do you want to go up to bat and try to get base hits?
Get on fucking base.
Yeah, you want to get base hits. Yeah. So having base hits is more valuable than hitting a home run every once in a while, right? Yeah. So that's the same in trading. We must.
Funny because I just started watching baseball like with my dad probably since I've been back home, and back when it was going on, that was one of the things I would say all the time. I'm like, why the fuck aren't these dudes just hitting to get on the fucking base? It's like I don't understand it. It's like they're not even trying half the time. Like they got their paycheck, they got their one on base during the early innings, and then they're done the rest of the game. They don't ever get on base again because they're swinging for the fucking fence, not playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Correct. And trading is a game, and it's us against the market. The only thing the market has on me and everyone else is more money. The market has more money than all of us put together. But if you understand the algorithm in the market and you have risks appropriately and you have a skill, you can beat the market each and every day. Why? Because we can see the market's hand in the weak hand that I am showing you and that I am teaching you. The market moves. And why? With objective evidence in the market. And if that is not the most powerful thing available, then everyone should just quit. Because if you think you're going to get it on a hunch or gambling, and you don't have a positive cash flow coming in to support your gambling habit, you will lose everything that you earn, everything that you own. If you get in this game to gamble and to hit home runs, you will find yourself in a dark area. You must respect the market. The market is powerful. The market is powerful because it has more money than you. And if you go to a casino like Las Vegas and you bring $5,000 and you think that you're going to place a $2 bet playing blackjack and you're going to outlast them, it's impossible. I don't care what your win rate is, because your win rate, they have more money than you. So if they have millions,
and they got more time to play,
there you go, time. So I teach you specifically about time, and it's about time that we get in the market because of X, Y, and Z. And this is the weakest hand in the market. We take advantage of the market. If you don't take advantage of the market at the specific time that I tell you, and based on objective evidence in the market that I show you time and time again and teach you everything you need to know, it will print. It will show us. It will work. And when you go against it, you will lose. So don't test it. You might want to make sure that you gain a skill, and that skill is going to be for life. If you don't have any gambling habits, don't get into gambling habits.
Yeah.
When traders get on accounts, such as a paper account, because TradingView has a paper account too. I don't believe in trading on a paper account. But what I've done is I've taken a TradingView paper account, which they gave us about $100,000 in money, right? It's fake money. And I've taken it to $1.1 billion with 304 trades and 100% hit rate. I don't know anybody, and that is a record. I don't know anyone that has ever done that. And I can probably guarantee that no one has ever done that. And unless they show me, that tells you that I have a skill. And if it's the skill and the leverage is the same, the sky is the limit. It's not about the money. It was about the skill. And why I did that is to show that if you had money and you had a skill such as I have, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
So we start at zero. If I blow up an account tomorrow, I know that my skill will never leave me. If you blow up an account tomorrow and you gambled and you have a gambling habit, you have no skill.
Yeah. You just got lucky.
You got lucky. And luck is not going to stay with you your entire life. Yes, we have breaks in life, right? Yes, we have breaks in life, but we don't live our life based on breaks. So no matter what situation we are in life, if we're trying to build a foundation, you have the tools now to build that foundation and to make something great. What is that going to be? You are absolutely in control of that. This is not a get rich quick scam. This is Rich teaching you the algorithm in the market, showing you objective evidence in the market so you can build a strong foundation for life. Nobody can dispute. Nobody here at Breathing with the Markets has ever showed where this did not work. If you line everything up that I show you and you point out everything that I showed you objectively in the market, you will see yourself that it works. The only way that we get in trouble is if we don't do everything that I teach you and we over leverage. How are you going to over leverage, and why are you going to over leverage? If the market has more money than you, you cannot outlast the market. Hence, breathing with the market. I am teaching you how to breathe with the market. The market is going to fluctuate up and down. I am showing you how to breathe with the market based on objective facts in the market. So you have to respect the market by not over leveraging. And those people that think that they can gamble, but I won't over leverage. I'll just gamble and I won't over leverage and I'll come out on top. You're not going to, because over time, once again, you can bring your $2 bet at the table and you have $5,000 in your pocket and you bet $2 or bet $2, and the casino has millions of dollars. It's just going to take a matter of time before you have nothing. And then when you have nothing, you're not going to be able to start at zero because you had a gambling mentality and you didn't recognize it and you thought you were going to beat the casino that has more money than you. Because the casino doesn't go dry because they still have all of these gamblers keep coming in every day. So they're not losing any money. No. The people at the table are giving their money, and when you win on gambling, you're actually taking money from those that are losing, and the casino is still in the same position.
Yeah,
you see?
Yeah.
So when we get into a market and we understand how the market moves each and every day, each and every minute, because on the market starts on the seconds. It doesn't start on a daily candle. I have showed you how we analyze the market on any time frame. And we don't do a top-down analysis. We do a bottom-up analysis, and that's for a reason. It's because the last time I looked at my watch, I was looking at the seconds and the minutes. My watch doesn't say daily on it. I know what day it is. And today is the time to gain a skill. If I'm going to sit there and watch TV and I'm going to be lazy, or I'm just not going to do anything today, that is time that you're going to lose, and God will never give you that back. Right? We can tell God our plans and he'll laugh. Right? So we have to basically build our foundation and gain a skill. Every time that I showed you and I analyzed the market through our sessions, right? Every time that I analyze that chart, I am getting better. You're not getting better. You are visually seeing me and I am teaching you exactly what to do in the market, but I am repeating everything over and over and over again, and I am getting better. So I have even more experience in my pocket. So every time that I do a session, every time that I sit down with a trader and they ask me information, they are learning from me. But I am gaining my skill each and every day, better and better and better, because they're forcing me to analyze that chart again and again and again and again. And I am doing the reps. I am repping it out. So if I want to get stronger in the gym, like your father, you go to the gym. What's the hardest thing to do? Go to the gym. Wake up and go. When you get to the gym, that's the hardest thing to do, is get there. When you get there and you see everyone else working out, what do? You start to work out. If you haven't worked out in a while, you're going to be sore as hell, and it's going to take you a while to get that body used to lifting weights again, right?
Right.
And once you start to lift weights and you start to maintain that, then you have to start to improve and you start to put more weight. You don't want to get ridiculous, right? But you want to excel and you want to add more pounds on the weight. That is a skill. It's learned behavior.
Right.
So why isn't trading learned behavior? It is. But if you go, I think, I know, I want, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I listened to this guy over here and he's talking about this big red candle. He's talking about liquidity high and liquidity low and highs and lows in the market. Highs and lows in the market moves up and down. That is ridiculous. That just tells you that they don't know what they're talking about in the market. Yes, that's right. They don't know what they're talking about in the market because they're talking about highs and lows. They're talking about liquidity sweeps. They're talking about fair value gaps. I am one to show you exactly how the market moves. Did I show you how the market moves?
Yes.
Did I show you objective evidence in the market?
Yeah.
So if that is true, and I can show you over and over and over again, and you can actually see it for yourself, if you can start to see it for yourself, you start to believe it. And if you start to believe it, you believe it based on facts. You don't believe it because somebody told you something. If someone's going to tell me there's liquidity, and liquidity means they think price is going up above a high, and they think that their price is moving higher because there's liquidity up above the high. That is not true. Liquidity is a blank spot up there. Price is moving for a reason, and I taught you exactly how price moves and why. I taught you where the highs and lows are in the market. And the highs and lows is not higher highs and lows. It is where we get in the market at the best price, the best lowest price, the best highest price with the highest probability in the market. Did I show you that?
Yes.
So if I show you that and I teach you that, then what we have to do is go back and practice that over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. Because when I go and I instantly turn on a chart, I can immediately see that chart and what it's doing. And I am actually trading. I am thinking about going in. I am knowing how much leverage I'm going to use. You have to gain that knowledge. If you start to gain that knowledge, you don't want to gamble. When you over leverage in a market, once again, when you over leverage in a market, you are gambling. Gambling meaning that just because you over leverage, don't confuse the thing. But if you have a $1,500 account and you put $1,500 in it, that is gambling because you're not allowing the market to breathe, right? And when I trade and I teach the traders, we understand where we're at in the market. So when the market pulls back on us, we understand to add in positions to even get a cheaper price as the market is breathing. Hence, breathing with the market. It's not going in from a losing trade because I don't trade to lose. I teach you a skill. I don't teach my traders it's okay to lose. It's not okay to lose. If a manager on a baseball team just had their first meeting for the beginning of the year in spring training, and the first thing that he said, and he walked in there and said, I just want to let everyone know it's okay to lose, he wouldn't have a job. Yeah. So baseball can be a professional sport, amateur sport, right? Every sport can also be a professional sport. Why is trading any different? Trading is not any different. It's the people in the education that's the different. Because if you don't have a skill in the market, you cannot teach a skill. Right. I have proven I have a skill in the market each and every day. And I can teach that skill based on a proven history of that skill. Right? So if I have a skill in baseball, then I can teach at a certain level. If I have a professional skill in baseball, then I can teach at a certain level, right? If you have an amateur skill in baseball and you go to teach a child or someone, they're only going to get to a certain level. Agree? Sure. Based on their skill level. But when you have a professional skill level, you can teach a professional skill, and those people, those traders are going to benefit from that skill level, right? So if someone's going to teach you and they don't know very little about the market, remember, not opinions, but facts. If they cannot show you facts in the market and they don't know why price is going there other than I think I know and it's a hunch, but they cannot prove that because you have to prove it by going back in history. If you take such a high and a low and you go back in history, all the highs and lows are different. So therefore, highs and lows and anything going up and down, what do you think is going, if the algorithm is moving up and down, there's 17 trillion highs and lows in the market. What makes you think your high and low is the best high and low?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're right. It's an opinion.
I was going to say, with all that you've said, it's like, would you rather, if you're going to be on a baseball team, would you want to be on the baseball team where you show up to practice and the coach is just fucking setting the ball on like a T-ball, showing you how to fucking hit bombs, like home runs, the whole fucking practice, and you don't really learn how to play baseball? You don't know how to play the game. You know how to hit the ball. You don't know how to play the fucking game, though. Correct. Or would you rather go to a practice and be on a team and you have a coach and he's teaching you how to hit on fucking base, how to get a pop fly, how to get a ground ball, how to fucking double play? And it's like, now you know how to play the game. And
there you
that's
go.
Kind of the way that all the stuff that you've talked about, all the stuff the pictures you send me in the Discord, stuff that I've written a little bit, not that I've written a whole lot, but the notes that I've written, it's like, that's the way that I look at it. Is it's like my foundation to play the game. Like,
there you go.
I'm not looking to be no Sammy Sosa or fucking Mark McGuire or none of that. Just get me on base. Yeah. Not saying you just get me on base, but like, that's how my mindset is. I'm just getting on base. I'm just playing the game.
Right on, Lance. Right on. See, that is important. The most important thing about this program, it's not gambling. If I see that someone's gambling, I don't want to see their charts. I don't allow it. They can do it if they want, but they're not going to be part of this learning procedure, right? I don't have time for gamblers. If I'm spending time on someone that's gambling, I'm taking time away from other traders, right? And I don't want to see, it's like anything else. If something's negative in life and you have someone that's addicted to something that's not positive in their life, then who wants to be around that? So gambling can become addictive, right? And you can become addicted to gambling, and therefore it's not good for you. So don't do it. So we practice what I teach you, practice what I preach, practice how I trade. And you will see yourself lean into those, everything that I mentioned to you, and seeing is believing. And once you start to do that, thousands and thousands of reps, you will find yourself in a better position. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
Earlier, just when you just showed all those accounts that you had finished, or what, I don't really know.
The payouts?
Yeah, all those payouts. You had went back to April 2025.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just seeing all that, like just seeing that right there is like powerful, because it's like, I've said it to my parents before. I was like, man, I wish I just would have done this thing with you that we're starting now, like a year ago. And so had I started this a year ago, correct, I would have had all this whole year to be practicing and doing all these things that you're telling me right now. And it's like, well, think about how much further I would be just from that 1 year. And it shows me that with like, my payouts wouldn't be like as many or as big as yours, but just the fact that you can see all that you can do in that amount of time is powerful. Yeah.
Yes, and this is why I explained, but people in the trading world, or people such as yourself, or including myself, or we're not excluded, but nobody realizes how powerful the system that I have. Nobody realizes the algorithm that I teach. Nobody realizes that this is actual skill-based. And the sooner that you come on board with Breathing with the Markets, the better off that you're going to be. And you, from day one, you can start working on that skill, and you will see yourself grow. I've even showed you some other things from other traders where you read yourself, they're taking out, these payouts, and it's not about the money. It's about the skill. They haven't been with me long, and they're making bank. Well, what is bank? $1 could be bank, right? It's not about the money, because I teach people all the time. If you go out and you buy a soda, you go out and you buy a steak, let's just stick to Coca-Cola or Sprite or whatever your favorite soda is, or whatever it is, diet, whatever. If you go out, it tastes the same. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your pocket. If you have $100 in your pocket or you have $10 in your pocket, if you go out and you buy a $2 soda and it's the same name brand, it's going to taste the same. But one thing you have that will never, ever leave you is a skill. It will only get better over time. So you don't get discouraged and you don't jump ahead of the game. you hone in on your skill and you continue to work on your skill and you prove to yourself, because what I do here at Breathing with the Markets is I will test you. If you reach out and say, can you test me? And they say, you test me, and I test on how fast they are reading the market. Now I can see when somebody's reading the market that I have Zoom calls with, that they might need some little extra help. I can see as they're marking up their chart, I can tell automatically what level of skill they're gaining or what they have, right? I can see for my own eyes. Why? Because I know how fast I see it.
Yeah.
So if I know how fast I see it, and I know how fast that I can do it, and I know how fast I can recognize it, it shows me how fast they recognize it. And if they're not recognizing it that fast, they have a lot of work to do. I don't tell them that, hey, you're not any good, you have a lot of work to do. I tell them in a constructive way that you need more practice. Well, they may not think that they need more practice, but I can only tell them that, hey, listen, based on my skill level and what I know about the market, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you you're great. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I am a mentor for you. I'm a friend. You're part of the trading community. I'm not here to make sure your feelings are in check all the time. It doesn't matter how you feel or how I feel. If I tell you you're doing an excellent job because you want to hear that and to give you confidence, that's not going to do anything good for you if I have to tell you, hey, I can tell you're not practicing. What do you want to hear? The truth? Or you want to hear something to make you feel good? I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to tell you the truth. And if I stick to telling you the truth, it's going to make you a better trader, a better person versus someone that's weak. If a parent grows up, if somebody has a child and they tell Johnny, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great your whole life. And then they make mistakes after they grow up. And all of a sudden someone says, hey, you're not that great. They're not going to know how to react. They've been told that they've been great their whole life, right? Yes. We tell our kids that they're great at things, but we also have to tell them that they're not so great at certain things, because we have to tell them that, hey, we need to work on this or we need to work on that, whatever it may be. We're human. We make mistakes. I make mistakes.
Criticism.
What's that?
Constructive criticism.
Yes, you're right. So I make mistakes. I'm human. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. Am I going to gamble at one point in time in the market? Am I going to do something wrong? Yes. Yes. We have to admit that, yes, but that's not a recipe for success, right? It's not a recipe for success. Are we going to break our rules if we have rules? Yes. Do we have to learn from them? Yes. Do we have to change and get back in the saddle, back on that horse? When the horse throws you off, the worst thing you can do is allow the horse to win. You have to get back on the horse and let them know who's boss, even though they weigh and they're so powerful, right? Yeah. You have to get back on that horse and teach that horse, whip the horse that, hey, I'm the boss. You're going to follow my lead. If you don't, that horse can sense that, and you will never be able to get on that horse, because as soon as you get back on that horse, he's going to remember, I've thrown this guy off before. He's scared. You see?
Right.
It's learned behavior. So horses have learned behavior. People have learned behavior. And this is why we learn how to trade objectively in the market. There's no other way. There's no other way to trade in the market other than objectively in the market. Objectively is you're finding the facts in the market. Do they appear? Yes. Why they appear? Who cares? They appear because it's an algorithm. All of the books that you see and read and hear on YouTube University, the shit is the opposite. I don't know how or why the books were written, but all I know is 99% of the community is fake.
Yeah.
A lot of people will not pay for their education because they think they can figure it out themselves. They cannot figure out the algorithm such as what I showed you. They cannot figure that out themselves in their lifetime. If that was the case, 99% of the people would not be losing their A and down and out and losing everything that they have. Right. Because it's a fact. The trading community is like a lack of education. How many doctors do we have? How many physicians are failing med school? Do people fail med school? Yes. But 99% of them don't. We wouldn't have doctors. So if 99% of the doctors actually make it, that's based on the education. The education is good. But if you took poor education in third world countries, why do you think people from third world countries come on over to the United States and practice medicine? It's based on the education, right? Then they go back to their own country and they practice medicine. And then they're able to help their people. Right. What a great idea. But when it comes to trading, people think, oh, I can do it.
Well, that's like part of the algorithm is that they made all these books. It's just like how they try and fucking hide history now. It's like the people up at the tippity top, they don't want you to know all this fucking shit. So they put out the fake shit that everybody's going to read, and it's mass produced and gets mass pushed through media, YouTube, whatever. So that's what everybody sees, and that's what everybody thinks. Oh, this is normal. That's how it works. This is how society works. And it's like, nope, that's just how you're programmed.
Correct.
That's what it is.
Now you can see the chart. You can see that it is a program, and 99% of the people don't know the program. And
being manipulated.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what symbol. It doesn't matter the time of day. It doesn't matter anything. So when you go ahead and you practice on a still chart, you're going to see things over and over again. So let me get to a still chart, and I will continue to we'll continue to go through that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and that's why I don't really like.
Trading is a lonely profession.
I can't explain all these things that I know because it's like I just fucking know them because I just fucking like taught them myself and understand it myself. But it's like for me to tell it to some friend or some person or somebody who doesn't have any skin in the game, like it's not going to make any sense to them. It's not going to comprehend. And then it's just like, well, I'm going to look like some goofball or something. And it's like, you
got to have skin in the game, right?
They're not even willing to take the time to just learn something like that, like a skill. It's the same thing. You sign up for like a college class or like a sport, arts and craft. Well, why not sign up for something like this? And you're actually probably doing something for your life, kind of, in a money sense.
Yeah, no, it's and then it's not going to take you all day to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people can have, so I don't suggest that trading becomes a career in a sense that, because trading, once you have the skill, it doesn't take that long. It might take you a few minutes, less than an hour in a day. So you have a job. So it's good to have an income. This trading should be supplemental. So it's, what else are you going to do the rest of the day? So you want to get people, I always suggest that they get a job, right? And then trading is a side gig, but trading might make more than their job. That's okay. But at least you're compounding it. At least what you're doing is you have a job. You have a job that also pays for your test accounts. You have a job that pays, but it's not your main. You don't want it to be your main source of income, because I have mechanics. I have guys or actually mechanics. They make more in trading than working at the dealership as a mechanic, but they're not going to quit their mechanic job because they're like, oh, well, I just go to work every day and then I trade very little and I make more than I make being a mechanic all the time. But at least they have something to do. They have something to do every day that keeps their mind away. And then they trade for 5-10 minutes in a day.
Yeah, because that's the other thing that happens with like the crypto, the stock trading. Like you can kind of become your own boss or your own person. And it's like you get so much free time that is also the fucking devil's advocate almost. And it's like you want free time so you could have the luxury to do the things that you want to do, but at the same time you get too comfortable in doing this thing that you're doing. It's like you will isolate yourself. Like you don't want to go out and do stuff because you're sitting here at your computer and you're like, well, fuck, man, this is easy. Why am I going to go fucking take all the oil out of this car and it's like, that's what is the bad part of it. Cause it's like, you need to also have something else to do, because there'll come a point where you got too much money, you got too much time, and you don't know what to do with it, or you don't have anything to do. And it's like, if you don't have any purpose, or like, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But remember, so don't focus. This isn't a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. It takes a skill, right? And you're going to understand your skill. You have to understand your skill level. But on the flip side of it, you want to make sure that, me and my philosophy is to have more than one income at a time, not to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So as I tell traders all the time, how could it be a career if you can trade 30 minutes or less? And I mean, people say, I'm a full-time trader. Well, what does that mean? Full-time, I teach people how to trade and they're in and out of the market and they're done for the day going, okay, now what do I do?
And that's what I mean is you're the guy sitting there and you're done for the day. So you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs and you're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
So you don't want to waste that time. You want to go out and get a job also. People go out and have a career also. Trading is supplemental. Supplemental doesn't mean you make less. Supplemental doesn't mean you make more. Supplemental means you're good at what you do, and it doesn't matter how much you make. What matters is if you have that skill, and you always have, no one can ever take it away from you.
Right.
All right. Once you gain this skill, you're going to realize that, wow, this is only going to get better and no one can take it away. You're not going to unsee the markets. You will not, nothing can happen that where you're not going to be able to see the market. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. Cause it's like I said, I've already watched it happen over the 5 years.
And when you get further down the road and your skill starts to develop, then we'll have sessions where we get into the prop firms and how to approach them. Okay. So,
right.
What to do. And listen, I'll teach you how to approach the prop firms, right? But you have to build this skill up. All right. Yeah. So send me some photos or whatever you're practicing and just practice. And if you have any questions, send me some photos. And then if you're rusty or something, you need something, just let me know. But now that this information is fresh in your memory, it's time to hit the grind and start grinding those reps out. All right.
Right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate
you, Lance. And together, right? We're going to build the skill together. All right.
Fun and nice just talking to somebody, like I said, who actually knows more than I do about it. So it helps me kind of understand a little more probably than I probably ever have. But yeah, it's like I said, nobody here in Yuma, like for the past 5 years, I ain't had nobody to talk to. Not that I haven't, but it's like nobody here is doing that.
No, you're right.
At least nobody.
You wouldn't find anyone in the world that will give you the information I just gave you. So practice.
No, and
practice it, you'll be okay.
Shit's fucking pretty much fucking gold.
You're correct. All right. So practice and we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. Keep me posted. All right.
I will. I'll try and send you some pictures. Hopefully, I don't mess up too bad on my first couple ones.
No, just rep them out. All right. We want to make sure you're doing the right thing, though. Okay. Yeah. So, all righty.
Thank you, sir.
Right, and look for a video tonight. I might, after lunch or something, I might put that clip in there. I figure out what I'll do and some of our communication. Yeah. Okay.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Peace.
You have a good night. I'll tell my parents you said hello.
Yes, absolutely. Always tell everyone hello, and I wish them the best.
Yes.
You're going to be good, Lance. You're going to be good. You'll be good to go. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Take care, Lance. Bye-bye.